What's going on, everybody? Today we're gonna talk about wow. That's right, everybody. You guessed it. Welcome back to the 1817 Project, here to have a conversation and not a debate. Today we're going to talk about Greenland. You know Greenland? That huge piece of ice? Oh yeah, look at this guy. Super stoked to be living out there. Yeah, talking about that. Got some tidbits here for you again today. I know y'all are overly excited.
Yes! Hell yeah! Hey, come on, baby! Come on! Yes! Come on! Ah!
We're going to go through everything. We're going to go through how much would Greenland today actually cost to buy? What was the last territory the United States actually purchased? How many people live there? Do they have a military? What would happen if the United States of America actually did assault and attack Greenland? What would be the ramifications? Well, we got it all right here, baby. All right, starting from the top. The last piece of land the United States bought from a country was the Virgin Islands, acquired from Denmark. Year acquired 1917. Purchase price was $25 million.
20 million in 20s.
And 10 million in 10.
And 10 million in 10s. You want any fives with that?
This transaction marked the final purchase of land from a foreign nation by the United States. Occupation or trust territories established after World War II rather than direct purchases from sovereign countries. That was the last piece of land that was purchased by the United States, and nothing was purchased since then. And some of you probably already know or don't, but this was a year before World War I ended.
On December 23, 1918, past the Statue of Liberty, sailed the first ships of the returning doughboys, fulfilling the battle cry, "Heaven, Hell, or Hoboken by Christmas." Vessels of all types steamed out to greet the transports whose decks and riggings were black with waving men.
Now, moving on to the price value of Greenland. Its estimated value varies widely depending on the method of valuation, ranging from $12.5 billion to as high as $4.4 trillion. Holy just wow.
That's disgusting!
Trump's the deal maker, right? I mean,
And I'm going to give it my best. I'm a great deal maker. That's what I do. I made a lot of money. I'm going to give it my best. It would be great if that deal could be made.
Using the value of economically extractable minerals reserves such as rare earth elements, copper, and lithium, estimates reach 186 billion. If all known mineral and energy resources, including oil and gas, were considered, the value could be up to 4.4 trillion, though much of this is not currently viable for extraction. Fair, because it's literally ice. But I guess you can have fun hacking away at that all day.
The ice is freezing faster than it's melting! Chop faster! Heat, man! Heat! No sacrifice! No victory!
Geographic and national security value drives other estimates by comparing Greenland's North Atlantic position to Iceland's real estate value. One analysis puts the price at $2.76 trillion. You know, the more and more I read these numbers, the more and more I just want to pass out. Is it worth it? Nobody likes the cold, man. All right, I mean, I get it for, you know, it is a militaristic, strategic point. It's cold. The average temperature in Greenland is negative 17 degrees Celsius.
Oh, that's cold!
Additional costs could include $5.7 billion to compensate Greenland's 57,000 residents at $100,000 a pop. There could be a government official that just strolls up to their doors and knocks on it and says, "Look, I will change your life forever if you agree to let us move in." I'd think about it, right? I mean, if I lived over there and every time I stepped outside, all it was a frozen wasteland, but then I saw this random dude in a trench coat.
Morning! Vaultec call.
I would be like, "Hey man, here's a briefcase. $200,000.
Damn good deal.
It's all yours, baby. All we want you to do is sign this saying that you agree with the U.S. coming over and taking over Greenland." Does Greenland actually have a military. Greenland does not have its own military. As an autonomous territory of the Kingdom of Denmark, defense and foreign affairs are the responsibility of Denmark. The Joint Arctic Command, a branch of the Danish military, is responsible for the Greenland's defense. It operates patrol ships, aircraft, helicopters, and the elite Cirrus Dog Sled Patrol to monitor Greenland's vast territory. Holy crap, is that a way to die? Could you imagine if you're just walking out there, frozen wasteland, right? You're a trespass, you're an enemy, right? You are there to kill people. It's all like foggy and stuff, the mist of the snow and everything blowing around, and you know, you think you and your boys, you think you're all good, and then you hear, and then out of nowhere, just busting through the mist, you got like 30 people on dog sleds and freaking huskies growling and charging at you, and those dudes on the sled just going. No, Greenland itself, no, obviously does not have a military because it's covered under the protection of Denmark. That's where their military presence lies. What would happen if the United States decided to actually attack Greenland and just take it by force? What would happen? This is what I was able to find on the internet of that scenario, and what would the consequences be? A U.S. attack on Greenland would trigger a severe geopolitical crisis, primarily because Greenland is an autonomous territory of Denmark, a fellow NATO member. Such an inaction would be considered an act of war against Denmark, and under Article 5 of the NATO treaty, an attack on one member is an attack on all. While the U.S. military could likely seize Greenland due to its overwhelming power, and minimal Danish military presence, the political and strategic consequences would be catastrophic. NATO would collapse as the alliance would face an unprecedented internal conflict. Danish Prime Minister has warned that a U.S. military attack on NATO ally would mean the end of NATO in the post-World War II security order. Analysts agree that trust in the U.S. as a reliable ally would evaporate, prompting a shift toward European defense independence without U.S. involvement. Global diplomatic and economic fallout would follow. Dang, fallout.
Because if my time in the army taught me one thing, it's that war never changes.
Severed intelligence sharing and isolation from key allies. Transatlantic trade could collapse, triggering a global recession. While direct military retaliation against the U.S. is unlikely due to its power, European nations might support and resistance, including Arctic-capable forces and some submarine operations. Legally, a U.S. invasion would violate international law and potentially the U.S. Constitution, as the president would need congressional authorization for prolonged hostilities under the War Powers Act. Also, authorization is unlikely to be granted. Yeah, no shit. So there you have it. We went through everything. How much Greenland is worth? What would it cost to actually buy Greenland? Do they have a military? What would happen if we attack Greenland? And just a tidbit, if y'all are also curious, the population of Greenland is only about 57,000 people. Anybody who loves below freezing temperatures, very cold weather, windy, wet, cold, are just honestly psychopaths. So if it was me, I wouldn't even want to go over there, because those 57,000 people, honestly, at this point, are just terrifying human beings. I wouldn't want to come into contact with them from an aggressive standpoint. Thank you so much for tuning in, where you get all of your unbiased information. This is the 1817 Project, here to have a conversation and not a debate. Please tune in for my next episode, because my next episode, we are going into the Twilight Zone. We are finally going to open up and see what Project 2025 is truly all about. You don't want to miss it.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.